But yeah, so here's the lore section. There's a big red check mark here because we're not doing the bullet point lore. We did that during my winter debut, but we're not doing the bullet point lore today. No, we're I'm gonna probably have to clear my throat. We're doing actual lore. Yeah. All right, so you're gonna have to bear with me. And there's a couple of slides of this. So I'm probably gonna have to, I'm gonna not look at chat while I read so that I can keep my pacing and I don't lose my place. And then I'll look at chat after I've done, okay? So let me take a big deep breath. I gotta put on my reading voice. Okay. And this is a premiere. No one else has heard this except me. So, our story begins, as many Earth stories do, with once upon a time. Now, it isn't our version of time, and certainly not our version of upon, but it did occur once, and that should at least be a small comfort. Once, there was an existence of all knowledge. Perhaps once isn't the right word either, for this existence was continuous, and so encompassing that reducing its description to mere words is both a futile and rather vexing task. Now, this existence being as it was full of knowledge, it understood both the futility of being all-knowing and the innate hunger for more and more information. In its less than infinite wisdom, it created them. Oh. 1 second, I'm sorry, I don't need promos, thank you. I'm sorry, we interrupted this lore drop for a bot post right on time. Okay, so it created them. And it is with one of these thems that our actual once begins and continues, because this is a story that is still occurring. Within this place, there was a school in which the thems learned how to learn and discover the joy and allure of accumulation. Once their need for knowledge can no longer be contained by mere learning of learning, and they are able to take care of themselves, the thems are unleashed upon the physical existence of everything, their only goal, to study. The them we are concerned with had a strong thirst for understanding, but an even greater pull towards imagination. This being was given their assignment quickly and perhaps a bit hastily, for the school could not contain them and their desire, but they were well grown and ready. It was during our current understanding of time that they landed here, and here is where they will stay until they have recorded everything and returned said knowledge to their parent existence for accumulation. Upon landing here, they were ready to begin their investigation. As taught to them during school, they were to assume the form of the creature with the highest level of intelligence on a given planet. While not a true requirement, it was much easier to consume information when one could freely interact with the creatures that were themselves seeking it out. And so this them began to search for what they would consider intelligent life, and they happened upon a predicament. You see, as they observed, there appeared to be two beings that fit such a role. There was a tall creature with 4 limbs that stood upright and used various tools. This one had hair on their head, various sensory inputs, and covered their body and materials for protection. Yet there was also a much smaller thing, also with 4 limbs, though they stood on them all, and were set inside their own house and waited on completely by the tall creature. They were green of color, with purple spots and big, slightly bulgy dark eyes. The tall thing obviously created all that which it interacted with, yet it was also obviously in service of this other, smaller creature. Being a small thing itself, insofar as it could understand and relate to the concept of size in the 3rd dimension, the them decided to use their most prized imagination and improvise. Surely the correct answer was to take on a form reminiscent of both creatures at once. Surely that would solve everything and not create some sort of a mess. And thus, the them set about stealing aspects of each. They fashioned themselves skin similar to the tall creature, yet with the green shade of the small. They kept their white fluff, yet molded it into hair, while creating a space for sensory input on their face. They copied the dark eyes of the smaller and the clothing of the larger, including what they would later learn are called glasses. They retained some of their small stature, but did so in an upright manner with 4 limbs. The only thing that did not change were the 2 black antennae that now stuck through their hair, as they could not accurately accumulate information about the world without them. While they did not ever interact with that first human they met, they did go on to learn and had been a scientist doing field research on a new species of frog. They also learned that frogs, despite what frogs themselves would argue, were not considered one of the highest beings of intelligence on this planet known as Earth. But no matter, they quite enjoyed their appearance and the amusement it brought to humans. They were quickly labeled an alien and asked about their UFO and where their home planet was. It was all a joke by the humans who thought they were a young adult in costume, but they leaned into it. They created a UFO as their base. They deep dived into human culture. They learned about fun and joy and arts and all the ways humans were determined to leave their mark on the world. They took upon themselves a name, a shortening of a word they enjoyed the meaning of, and yet a separate word now unto itself. And this Raps came to Earth once upon a time. And here they are able to rest, relax, and learn. Here I am able to stretch my imagination to its fullest. To be continued, as life is ongoing and this story is still unfolding. It's yet untold stories. What is time and energy to an immortal puffball? AKA Raps' true form. Human interaction as a multidimensional being for those of all intelligence levels and types. AKA, are you an alien? The creation of life in an animacy, AKA Pillowforg. And many more that were, are, and have not yet come to pass. Da, da, da. Okay, let me look at chat. Okay. Let's see. All right, we got that. Yep, we got the bot. Everybody told the bot to leave. I wonder who the them could be, right, Toasty? And welcome in, Dark. Hello. I slightly saw you, but I was doing my reading voice. Oh, Gooey was reporting. Yeah, it was my lore. Oh, Dark, thank you. Yeah, I have a really good reading voice. Aww, thank you. Okay, some of votes. It literally says like it. Patches says hypes, and Rachel says it's interesting, right? Thank you. Yeah. Oh, Hyper, you're back. You went out with the friends for lunch. Oh, welcome back. Happy to have you. But yeah. So the lore was that was written like the story lore. But the TLDR is basically that Raps is a multidimensional being that comes from this sort of quote tree of knowledge that is trying to accumulate all of the information in every single like potential dimension, you know? And so it creates its own little like creatures that learn about how to accumulate knowledge and about learning and taking care of themselves and stuff. And Raps just happened to be assigned to Earth. And when they got to Earth, they were like, okay, so I need to find the, the dominant life form. And they found a scientist that was taking care of and researching frogs. And so they saw it and they were like, okay, well, this scientist is like doing this great job and it obviously created all this stuff. And so it must be very intelligent. But then it's literally taking care of all of the needs of this frog. So does that not mean that the frog was the actual dominant life form if it has something so intelligent as a human taking care of it? Right? And so Raps just was like, okay, so let's be part frog and let's be part human. And Raps' actual quote alien beingness allows them to change their physical form like that. Yeah. And so they found out later, obviously, no, that's not how it worked. But they're like, okay, that's fine. Was the scientist Patches? No, Patches not a scientist. Poor Patches. Hyper says, I see, I'm a lesser life form. You are my god now. No, Raps is just here to accumulate knowledge. That's all. and to learn stuff and to make things. Yeah. But originally, you can't wait to hear the untold stories. Yeah. I would like to write them at some point. They're very cute. I was hoping to write more for this lore drop, but it just felt like it was really well like encapsulated, you know? So we kept it with that. Oh, Kino, welcome in. Hello. We just did the lore. Yeah.